So I like to introduce a command that I've been working on, something that I've been using for quite a while that's actually very useful. Let me demonstrate it really quick just to kind of show you how this works. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to grab this background object and this other background object, and you can see right now everything's all pushed into one layer using this command, and I've set up a shortcut key for it, but first I'll show you by going to the commands directory. I click on this. I get the dialog that says, what do you want to name this new layer? And I'll say background objects. And voila, it moved those background objects into this new layer. I'll go ahead and lock that for now. Just to give a little bit of credit to contributors to this command, I like to point out that the original idea for moving objects to a new layer was originally a command that I found a while back from Fireworks. And let me pull up the website so you can see exactly how they spell their name, but it's PHIREWORX.com. I'm not sure if this command's still available or not. I've actually had a hard time finding it recently. So anyways, it was based off of this original command called select and shift. And what that did is exactly what you just saw me do right here. The only difference being that it didn't offer the name option when I ran the command. Since the object is to combine as many steps into one as possible, I got permission from John Dunning to ask if I could use the rename portion of his frames and layers utility. And let me go to John Dunning's website real quick so you can see his site. If you haven't been there, he offers tons and tons of really useful extensions for Fireworks, Quickfire being one of my favorite. But he does have this one frames and layers utility, and within that one of the commands is actually renaming the layer. With his permission, I was able to use his script with a series of steps that I was able to create as a command. And if you're new to creating commands, to briefly describe how a command is made using the history panel, basically I can clear the history. What I can do is I can grab several objects, and in this case what I did is I grabbed these objects, I did Control X to cut, I created a new layer, I pasted the objects into the new layer, and those steps were actually saved in the history panel, and then I saved that as a command. Then once I saved that as a command, I was able to combine John's rename layer script into the this new script. So now, not only can I cut objects, create a new layer, paste objects, I can now name the new layer as well. Just to kind of demonstrate this real quick of how useful this is. Like I said, I have everything in this one layer, and oftentimes when I'm working really fast, my layer management kind of gets a little bit out of control. So I like to come back and kind of clean that up a little bit. So in this case, I have all these little form items and form labels and the form background, and you know, we've already moved the actual background into this layer, but I have this headings area and stuff. So using a shortcut key, and again I use Control Shift L. I just click that and I say these are my headings if I can spell. And it moves the headings into its own layer. I'll click this one and say this is my form form info, and then I will grab this blue box and I will say blue form back, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. And of course I'll move this to the bottom. And then I'll grab my actual form items and move this, and sometimes it takes a second for it to catch up. There's a lot of symbols in there, so it might take a little bit longer. And I'll call these form items, and actually before I close this, I'm going to show you another trick in a second. And I'm going to grab these items right here and say form labels. Okay, so another real handy trick here, or a tip I should say, is you can see right now that all these layers are kind of expanded and kind of out of control. And what if I want to get back to only selecting the form items? If I alt click on the arrows, basically it collapses all the layers for me. It's similar if I alt click in anywhere on the lock icons. I can do that pretty much anywhere. It locks or unlocks all the parent level layers. So now, since like I said, my goal was to quickly select the form items, I can unlock that one set, and now I have free access to these form items. So now that you know what this does, and you can see how valuable it is, in just a matter of seconds, I was able to organize all my different layers and my objects within the layers using the shortcut keys. Let me show you how to install it. So I actually have this command on two different sites that I maintain. Eventually, I plan to merge these sites, but for now, you can go to fireworksinstructionalvideos.com, click on the commands button, or you can go to fireworksstuff.wordpress.com, commands and extensions. And let me see, let's go back to this one real quick. It's a little bit easier to read the label. Move objects to a new layer and name that layer, and you just click download. You'll need some kind of WinZip utility. If you open this up, there's two files in here. This one's just a little bit of history, all the stuff that I'm kind of going over in this video, and some installation instructions. And here's the actual JavaScript that you can paste into Fireworks. So if I open up, and by the way, I'm on a Vista 64-bit machine, so my program files might look slightly different than yours, but basically if you go to your OS, Vista 64-bit puts the 32-bit software inside of a folder called Program x86. So you just go to regular program files if you're on a regular XP or a regular 32-bit Vista machine. I have the location for Mac in here. I'm unfortunately not a Mac user, so I don't know that exact location. So anyways, go to Adobe, Adobe Fireworks CS4, configuration, commands, and basically I drag this file into this location, which you can see is already here. And that's all there is for setting it up. Once you have it set up, then what I recommend doing is setting up a shortcut key for it, and just so we know that it's in there, we can see this. And again, I've already set up the shortcut key for it as well, but I'm going to show you how to set up a shortcut key just in case you've never done that before. So if it's the first time you've set up a shortcut key, you'll be asked to make a duplicate set of one of the defaults. I start off with the web standard. And then I make sure I'm on menu commands. I go to commands, and I look for this particular command, and then using the modifier keys, basically all I need to do is type in here, and I do Control-Shift-L and hit OK, and that gives me my command and my shortcut key. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments or feedback, you can reach me at christian@oivs.com, or if you'd like to follow me, I'm on Twitter at Christian3D. Great, thank you.